I know a place.
I know a place.
Where life is good.
Where life is good.
A brand new place.
A brand new place.
In your neighborhood.
Your neighborhood.
Come to my place.
Where dreams come true.
My saving place can save a lot of dollars for you.
My saving place. Kmart.
Kmart.
Is your saving.
Yes, it is.
You need value face to face.
Kmart.
Is your saving.
Sing it for me, children.
The new Solent Kmart will celebrate its grand opening starting Thursday.
Attention Kmart shoppers, one of your favorite stores will shut down soon.
The problem confronts East Brunswick, too, where a Kmart on Route 18 slated to shutter.
Kmart stores in Lansing and Jackson will also be shutting their doors. The locations on South Cedar Street in Lansing and O'Neill Drive in Jackson will be closed by the end of March.
It's one of 4 closing in Jersey this year, all among some 150 Kmart and Sears stores set to fold across the country. 3,900 jobs lost.
Kmart plans to close dozens of stores, and 2 of them are right here in our area. Kmart plans to shut down several stores across the country.
It's the last call for the iconic blue light specials.
The Kmart on East Michigan Avenue in Jackson shut down. The company says the decision was made based on poor financial performance.
The stores in Gardendale and Coleman will shut their doors at the end of the year.
Doors opened in 1962, and 55 years later, doors will permanently close.
Attention Kmart shoppers.
Welcome Kmart shoppers.
Attention Kmart shoppers.
Attention Kmart shoppers and all ships at sea. Dateline Detroit, 1899. Sebastian Spearing Kresge opens his first store in downtown Detroit.
It was 1899 when enterprising Pennsylvania farm boy Sebastian Spearing Kresge opened SS Kresge 5 & Dime, his first small step in creating the American retail legend Kmart. But by 1912, Mr. Kresge had opened 85 more stores with sales of $10 million. Throughout the first half of the 20th century, Mr. Kresge continued to reinvest in the company, building 5 & Dimes and later dollar stores, predecessors of the modern department store.
Detroit, 1962. Kresge has given birth to the first Kmart store.
To better fuel the American dream, the Kresge Company creates a new store destined to become a legend in American retail. Kmart is among the first one-stop shopping destinations selling branded, nationally advertised merchandise at discount prices. Soon, more Kmart stores are popping up all over the country.
Indianapolis, 1965. Attention Kmart shoppers. Enterprising merchandise manager Earl Bartell creates the first blue light special using a shopping cart, a car battery, and believe it or not, a red light.
Little did Mr. Bartell imagine, but he had created one of the great icons in retail, and while the color of the light changed from red to blue, the fun and excitement of unbelievably priced blue light specials lives on in the annals of retailing. With the rapid success of Kmart stores, it was no surprise when the company officially changed its name to the Kmart Corporation. But while the Kresge name was gone, the K in Kmart remained, proudly standing for the values and the smart thinking of the man that started it all.
Tinseltown, 1989. Kmart launches the first, longest-running celebrity signature clothing line in history. Jacqueline Smith.
I've got just the thing.
Once again, Kmart was in the forefront of the retail industry, creating the first celebrity signature lines, including Martha Stewart Everyday, well before they became common. Today, Kmart has more exclusive brands than ever, from Route 66, Attention and Protégé, to Canon, Country Living, Craftsman, and Kenmore. And of course, we're always adding to our great selection of national brands, like Disney, Joe Boxer, and Sony, to name a few.
Hoffman Estates, 2007. Mr. Blue Light lights up sales at Kmart.
After buying out another legendary American retailer, Sears, the 2 companies merged into a single organization called Sears Holdings. Soon after, inspired by the history of the Blue Light Special, Kmart introduced a brilliant new spokesman, Mr. Blue Light.
School starts tomorrow. What's it gonna be?
He has become the embodiment of the Kmart experience, shining a beacon on the values, bright ideas, and smart shopping found only at Kmart.
America, the new millennium. Shop Your Way services make shopping Kmart smart.
Beyond products, Kmart continues to add valuable Shop Your Way services like Kmart Layaway, the smarter way to pay. Then there's the Shop Your Way Rewards Card, the only rewards card from a major retailer that rewards customers whether they pay by cash or credit. And there's Kmart.com and MyGopher.com, helping customers shop Kmart Smart online with special offers, wider product assortments, including groceries, and extra service options like in-store pickup.
Dateline, Kmart stores in 49 states, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands.
With a never-ending commitment to the best possible products at the best possible price, plus services second to none, Kmart looks forward to another 100 years that would make Sebastian Kresge proud. So that today, tomorrow, and for 1,000 tomorrows to come, our customers will gladly agree,
they're smart, and there's Kmart smart.
Hello from Retrocade. It's Phil here with a special Retrocade retrospective on K-Mart, the company itself. I hope you liked my 5-minute intro. And we're just going to go right into it. This is a K-Mart in Staten Island, New York, on Highland Boulevard. It's in a totally dilapidated plaza called the Highland Plaza. You just saw there was an old Toys R Us and Babies R Us that's now defunct. Most of the lot is defunct, but we're going to get right into it now. I'll talk about those later. And I walked right into the Kmart. I had to be a little discreet. There was actually a lot of people in there, to my surprise. Now, I hadn't been in this Kmart for over 15 years. I came to that conclusion. There was another Kmart on Staten Island that I was at more recently, maybe in 2009, so about 8 years ago. But this one, I don't think I'd been there after 9/11, so it's probably at the very least 15 years since I had been in there. And it looks smaller, but I'm more of an adult now, I guess. But it was dilapidated, and but not maybe as dilapidated as I thought it was going to be, considering the liquidations. And it was really crowded in here. You could see right here, there's nothing on the shelves. There's a big, wide, empty space. A lot of the store looked like that. Mostly in the back. I did have to be discreet with filming. There was a lot of people around, and security, whatever. So I didn't want to start an issue. It is New York, and people get a little mouthy when they see you pull out your phone. I did it all on my iPhone, by the way. I didn't use DSLR or anything. So, but most of it was a mess. And they're going the way of the dodo, They're going to be good. This one's closing in August, I think. Or they have the lease till August, but they'll probably shut down before then. And, it's a lot of empty stuff. A lot of empty shelving. But they had some newish stuff like this, the Star Wars toys. But those came out for The Force Awakens, so that movie's 2 years old now, So even that was kind of, newish, and they probably got liquidated, and then they bought it, or it was sitting on the shelves since 2015, so who knows. There's kids playing around with lightsabers. That was probably my funnest part of going to this store as a kid, the toy aisle, because they did have a good toy section. This place did flourish in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but it really felt like going into the late 80s or early 90s walking in this place. And this is the little bit of a separate area, the gardening area, of course, a wreck like everything else. I went outside a little bit just to see what it looked like. I don't think I'd ever been out there ever. The last time I was in there, I was probably a kid and never looked to go in the gardening section anyway. So there was that. And as gardening supplies and whatnot, and it was pretty crowded, considering I thought I was going to go in there and be 2 people in there, but because they're liquidating, people are scrambling for deals, and I guess there were some deals, but a lot of it, you could just look and get it at Target for a similar price. Here are some pictures of some of the little interesting Hot Wheels Star Wars Ralph McQuarrie toys that they had out, so I figured I'd take little snapshots. These are Black Series that are at discount. They're actually kind of cheap, so you couldn't resell them to make any money, but if you wanted them cheap, they pretty much all of them have shelfware. Those are those little toys. Here's an old Micro Machine. That was the stuff that I was interested in the mid-90s when I would go to the store with my mom or whatever. The Micro Machine toys, or just the Power of the Force line, Shadows of the Empire line. And then in 99, I don't think I ever bought any of the Phantom Menace toys. Well, at that point I was getting a little older, I got out of it. This little thing here totally looks like Space Mountain. So I took a picture of that. But I think it's a bike rack of sorts, and it's still kind of in the toys and kids and bike section. But as you can see, everything's everything's pretty dated. I doubt they've gotten new inventory here and at all. It's all dated stuff. Everything's got heavy shelf wear, and everything's is kicked around. Nothing. Here's their appliance section. Just a couple of old, crusty white dryers and washers. There's a couple beds, a couple of lower end drones. And they have their music going on. This is their electronics section. 3 TVs. 3 TVs. I know they're liquidating, but it's embarrassment. And this is not something that it wasn't. I haven't been to this particular one in a while, but this is something that's been going on with the company for years. They've been in a nosedive since 2002, when they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And they were their management kind of did what Enron did, and was misappropriating funds and misleading shareholders on the financial situation of the company, and they made millions, of course, and while the shareholders suffered. This is what happens in America. We just let the elites and the big executives get away with murder, while people in their retirement funds get hurt. No one cares. But look, that's a different story. But here's the mess. Really, just a mess. The diaper section. I pretty much walked the whole store over about maybe half an hour. I didn't look there was nothing that caught my eye that I would buy, even with these big liquidated discounts. But I'm not really very much a retail purchaser. That's I'm part of the problem. I buy things online, and I'm it's hard. I don't like really to support Amazon, but it is very efficient and it's very attractive. The prices, the fact that it comes in 2 days, you don't have to leave. And nowadays, the average work week is almost 50 hours. People don't have time to come and make a day out of shopping. They just they don't have it. But this section wasn't that bad. Some home decor stuff wasn't. Actually, looked okay. That was all right. Here's the Nathans. Now a lot of I'm gonna say McDonald's, but a lot of Kmart's had diners in them in the 80s and 90s, and the elderly people would sit there, and people at all, housewives would sit there, have a coffee, a piece of cake, and then they'd wait for the blue light special to come on, which was like a random sale in a certain department. And then the blue light special came on. It was a blue light, and then they'd say, "Attention Kmart shoppers," and then people would scurry over there like rats, ravenous rats, to go get their discounts. But this particular one didn't have a diner. It has a Nathan's in front, and it wasn't open at this time, and it looked disgusting anyway. That was like some furniture and stuff. It's all kind of messy. I wouldn't buy it. As you could see, the little jewelry area, bags. I had to be kind of discreet because, people looking at me like, what the hell is this kid recording? And people are pretty standoffish. In fact, there was a fight in front, which I recorded. People arguing. You'll see that at the end of the video. That was the restrooms. And here's the shoe section. Excuse me. Of course, shoes scattered everywhere. Oh, there was a funny part. I didn't have the camera on at the time. But some typical New Yorker, Staten Islander, says in the typical fashion, "Oh, it's worse than Christmas in this place," It was funny. It was pretty colorful, but it's true. It was just like a filthy mess, just like after the Christmas season of Black Friday. And there was a lot of people in there, Here's my shoe compared to theirs. I'm wearing my Vans. But a lot of people in the store. I was expecting it to be empty, but there were lines, there's people buying into this liquidation. But in my opinion, I scanned like not much things, but the Black Series toys, and I did see them. They were cheaper, $14.99, than Target's price of $19.99, so kind of cheap. Here's another pretty much empty or partially empty shelving aisle. Just a mess, kind of sad. There's some scattered lightsabers all over the floor. There's an abundance of Star Wars toys, There's a Millennium Falcon. I think that was one of the more newer items. But just a lot of messy junk. Nothing that I would have wanted to buy. Let's take a gander here. But they've been in bad shape for years. Like I said, I hadn't. It was a Jurassic World toy. Jurassic World's years old at this point. More figures, and some Rays. There were some Jyn Ersos. But yeah, nothing held back. 50% off, store closing sale. But there's the fitting rooms. I was afraid people were gonna start complaining that I was pointing my camera at the fitting rooms. But screw them. But yeah, I was trying to take here's all the people online. But look, there's look, every register was filled. They were all open. There's a fight. Typical stuff.
No, I don't think so. No, I know it's a fact. She's only 5 months old. Doesn't matter how old.
Stooges. Typical Staten Island. And here I do some talking about this particular lot, about Kmart in general. So I think I'm going to just let myself talk here. This lot is dilapidated. There's the entrance to Kmart. I guess they're closed now? No, there's the entrance. These are just unused doors for whatever this would be, but of course it's for lease. But it's a dilapidated lot. This is completely empty, and this was a Toys R Us over here. As you can see, Toys R Us, Babies R Us, and there's a few stores here, but most are just closed. I'm pretty sure they're leveling this whole thing to build a new multi-level complex, but I don't know where they're getting their intel from that that's a good idea. I mean, none of these stores have been flourishing since the 90s. Family store. Most of them are just empty storefronts now. You got Telco, just the low end. I mean, that's closing. Subway, I'm pretty sure, has been closed. Pizzerias are closed. The movie theater's been closed. That's right to the right of the Babies R Us sign. That's, you know, obviously closed too. It's Mandy store, 50-80% off, obviously liquidating, closing. Dollar Tree, that's still open, of course. Those are the only ones that could really survive. But, oh, it is a mess. Suit store, suit outlet, they're liquidating 30 to 70% off. So, it is a gross lot. Really dilapidated. It was totally used in the 90s, but has not been used lately. Looks wretch. Would you want to shop in any of them? Because I wouldn't. Okay, and that's essentially it for the little tour. But I'm going to talk a few minutes about some more things and why I think Kmart failed and Sears with it failed. And, lots like this are happening all around the world. There is no shortage of YouTube videos of all this going on. But first, a little more about the nostalgia of Kmart. They had, back then, most of these department stores had, like, background music, kind of like almost elevator music playing. Although the store didn't have it when I was in there. But it was big in the 80s and 90s. And this ex-worker named Mark Davis compiled 56 hours of old audio and put it on the internet from Kmart, the old kind of elevator music, store music that, would change month to month or week to week. And he compiled 56 hours of it. And now the Vaporwave community is having a field day with it. So I'm going to play one of those cool songs in a second. and then I'll still talk about what I think is the deal with a store like Kmart and why it kind of hasn't really done too good and is on the way out.
Welcome, Kmart shoppers. Kmart has low discount prescription prices. Visit our pharmacist today and compare our prices to what you're presently paying elsewhere. You'll be glad you did.
Yeah, this vaporwave stuff is great. I can't believe the guy saved 56 hours of all this stuff. But hey, there's archivists out here. That's great. But I'll just get into real quick why I think companies like Kmart and Sears, these big companies that have been around for decades, since most of us, whoever's listening, have been born, is simply due to bad management. And in this case, I think it's a little more sinister than people would realize. Now, when Kmart went Chapter 11 back in 2002, it was basically due to the corporate bigwigs, defrauding everyone, defrauding the investors, using the funds as their own personal piggy bank, company funds, and they were kind of on the wrong track since then. And then in 2005, Kmart, after filing for Chapter 11, they ended up failing Sears. And now the CEO is this guy, Eddie Lampert. He's a Goldman Sachs guy. Started this hedge fund called ESL Investments, I think the name is. And essentially, his company financed the financial needs of Sears and Kmart, now known, the parent company known as Sears Holdings. And he's essentially been stripping apart the company. They've got, I think, 150,000 employees between Sears and Kmart. Tons of investors in the stock. It's a public company. But how does he make out by destroying a company? Well, it's very much Gordon Gekko-esque. He's going to pick apart the company, and in the end, he'll be the first lien holder when the chickens come to roost after the finalized bankruptcy of Sears, because he's the biggest lien holder. And the way the bankruptcy works is that his company's going to get paid back. Not to mention that he's making millions in interest every year from the big loan that he gave to Sears, which he's the CEO of, through his company ESL. So it's very Gordon Gekko-esque how he's stripping apart this company, and people kind of don't realize it, But in the end, these companies failed because of mismanagement more so than competition. But you would think, well, how do these $1 million CEOs and stuff, failing? Are these guys supposed to be smart and know how to deal with the times and competition and all that? It's like, well, in this case, it was almost purposeful that they let it fail. Not to say that they weren't going, the wrong way anyway. It was between competition and the changing consumer. With Amazon.com obviously obliterating everything, Walmart, absorbing, taking all the competition away from retail. But retail is dying. It's dying a slow death. But here's some pictures here. This particular picture's got the double K burger from all the Kmart cafeterias throughout the years. And Kmart's been around a long time. Their first store opened in '62, and before that, they were going under the different name of Kresge, from the guy who created it. And that's where the K comes from. That guy's name. But why did I feel like this was an appropriate thing? Well, it's very nostalgic for me, and so I'm doing this little retrospective. And the Retrocade, we usually do pop culture stuff, and this is culture. This is American culture. It's a piece of Americana, in my opinion, and that's why I felt that it was appropriate to do for Retrocade. And it's more just a farewell and goodbye, and to voice my opinions on it and how it went. It's just funny to see all these 80s stuff. Now, the music I have in the background now is actual Kmart music that it would play. I believe this one's from June of 1992. So if you were in a Kmart in June of 92, you would hear this. A lot of times the cafeterias, they had Little Caesars. I think the Little Caesars are actually more common than the Nathans that I had at my store that I was at. The Kmart on Highland Boulevard in Staten Island, New York, in the Highland Plaza, which is such a dilapidated plaza. But, yeah. But, yeah, why do companies, I've learned through myself, through college classes, and it's the worst thing a business can do is fail to adapt, because times they are changing, and if you don't learn how to adapt to your competition, you'll fall under, because something big could come out and change everything, look at Uber, Airbnb, so change the world. Here's some cool pictures. This is from a 70s Kmart. Got a t-shirt, tank top on, very 70s. And what else do we have here? Yeah. This picture is, I believe, early 80s. There's a lot of cool, interesting vintage pictures you'd find on the internet, but I'm sure everybody's got their own stories. Please comment and share your own nostalgic stories. I'm sure there are people have them. They definitely have them. There's no shortage of these videos. I think a lot of people are fascinated with this dying retail and how the times are changing, and that a lot of people feel saddened by it because the nostalgic way of doing things is kind of long gone. Going to the store and going to stores that and these brands that for years with your parents or grandparents, whatever it is. I always do remember a lot of elderly people walking through Kmart, but their brands weren't very popular with the kids. Route 66. If you were caught wearing Route 66, it was probably not going to be a good day for you. And there are other brands, but probably a better store to go. I remember in the later 90s or probably early 2000s, right around the Chapter 11, that was not a store to go. It was like embarrassing. It was considered like a lower end store. It was like a joke. I remember making jokes about it. But in the 90s, I did like it. I didn't mind it. They had cool toys for a kid. Here's a customer service picture from the 80s in Kmart. I don't know where this one is. These pictures are snatched off the internet. Another picture of a Kmart. This looks like the maybe earlier 80s, I'd say. But I'm just judging by the cars. Yeah, it's unfortunate the way things are. You're going to see a lot of empty shopping plazas and malls. You just look on the internet. You look on YouTube. So many people talking about it. The Dead Mall series. And people are just fascinated by it, Why is it happening? How is it happening? Everybody is kind of angry or upset, but at the same time, they're still shopping on Amazon. So, and a lot of job loss. Granted, they're not, the highest paying jobs. They were at a time, though, and then just another part of the times changing, minimum wage working. But the big box store, I think, is going to go away, the Dodo, in the next 10 years. Yeah, they'll, if they're going to have to survive, they're going to have to get a downsize in their retail presence, because no way they can afford the rents of these big box stores, 80,000 square foot Best Buys and Kmart's, they're gonna all go. There's just no, the ones that'll stay are like Target and Walmart. They'll survive. There's enough meat on the bone for them too, but really not many others. Here's a cool picture of a store opening, store 3675. I'm sure you could look it up on the internet where that store is and what the date was in this picture. Looks like it's the 80s or late 70s, just judging by the clothes and the and everything. But yeah, so that's why I felt like it was necessary to do the video, because a lot of history here. I'm sure everybody's got their own nostalgic feelings and what they used to do in Kmart, whether it's been looking for Star Wars toys or going to the Big K diner with their parents or grandparents or whatever the case was. It's a chunk of Americana. So here's another big picture of a big K. The big K became a thing. These are older big Ks. I do believe that there's some history behind this because the big K really started in the 90s, but these are much older in the 60s and 70s. I do think the big K was a different kind of department store and somehow maybe got absorbed by Kmart itself. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure these older pictures of the big K store was a different brand entirely and then got absorbed. Here's a picture of the one that I was at today, the Kmart. Now that's King Cullen replaced Pathmark, and the Pathmark was there for years, and the King Cullen did not last. That King Cullen was not there today. If you saw the video that you watched earlier, that King Cullen was an empty shell itself, but that whole lot's going. So, and here's a picture of the Kmart on Richmond Avenue, the other Kmart on Staten Island. This one I had went to more recently. I believe it was 09, Black Friday. A friend wanted to go in. He was like, "Oh, they got some stuff here." Otherwise, I wouldn't have went in. But and it was dingy and dilapidated. But that one's gone. That got replaced in 2012 by a Target. And here's the final shot. And this is the Kmart that I was at today with the Pathmark. So I'm assuming this is maybe about 5 to 7 years old. This picture, somebody took it, but all gone now. And that's about it here. So comment, like, subscribe. I've got. We're gonna go back to normal. I mean, if you like this video, I might make more. If there's similar stuff that I could go over, but definitely comment your thoughts and your feelings on it, and everything I said about how and why this is failing, and what your thoughts are on that. And I'm gonna be coming out with a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 review soon, hopefully in a few days. And also Alien Covenant, and I'll probably go over Prometheus as well. So those are coming, and I do want to get a full podcast in. It's just been tough with everything, and even editing this video took a long time. But that's it for today, guys, and hope you enjoyed the video and the Vaporwave Kmart music, and keep watching the stars.
Build a Star-Spangled Banner Monument in Washington, D.C. Your gift of $2 or $5 or the purchase of a Show Your Colors t-shirt, add your name to the Honor America roll, a permanent listing of Americans who are joining with Kmart and other founding sponsors to pay tribute to our flag and to Francis Scott Key. Your name will be placed at the monument, and you'll receive a certificate of participation suitable for framing. Ask for details in the jewelry department and find out about our thank you gifts for your donation.